In this polluted modern society, it's generally accepted that you should be perfect. You should strive to become the best of the best every single day. And social media has just made it harder, because a lot of people, including myself, compare ourselves to the best of the best, and we think that we should do everything in our power to get at that level. Now, while this is a healthy mindset to have, while this is a good mindset to have if you want to aspire to be better every single day, be careful, because at the end of the day, you are going to make mistakes. There's going to be a bunch of mistakes this year that are going to try and derail you from your progress and your success. But how do you essentially bounce back from each one of these mistakes? Well, welcome to Goals and Growth. My name is Estian, and I'm going to be giving you 3 strategies that you can use to bounce back from each mistake that you've made this year. So if you're interested in this type of content, I encourage you to subscribe, and let's get the ball rolling. So first of all, you should come to the realization that mistakes are inevitable. Now, we've talked a lot about failures in previous videos, and I told you that failure is inevitable in each part of your life. You are going to fail, and just like you are going to fail, you are going to make mistakes. You're going to make judgments that completely go against your moral compass and go against your true values, and you are going to end up feeling quite miserable because of that, because you've essentially broken your moral code. You've promised yourself that this year you'll get the best body possible, this year you'll lose this amount of weight, and you strayed from that path. You ate junk food the entire time, you went out and drank with your friends, and that has derailed you from your progress. Now, that is a misjudgment, it's a mistake that you've made, but at the end of the day, you knew that mistake was possible. You knew you were going to give into temptation some way, shape or form. So at the end of the day, it's all about realizing that mistakes are going to be tempting you. You are going to be tempted to make those mistakes, and you have to realize that you are always, in this modern society, you are always going to be derailed by temptation, derailed by mistakes. And yes, 99% of people are going to give in, and they're going to make that mistake. So just be aware of the fact that this temptation will exist. This temptation to stray will come across your path, and at the end of the day, you need to make the conscious decision to either make that mistake, or you make the conscious decision not to make that mistake. At the end of the day, there is a gray area, right? There are choices that are going to be harder than others, but at the same time, you have to stick to your moral and traditional compass, and you have to do your best to make the right decision at the correct time. So we've discussed becoming aware of the possibility of making mistakes, but how, if we've made that mistake, do we actually rectify it? How do we, so to speak, bounce back from it? Well, at the end of the day, it's all about really analyzing the things that caused that mistake. So was it a matter of peer pressure? Was it a matter of just trying to get ahead in life? What was the root cause of that mistake? What emotion fueled that mistake? What logic and what way of thinking filled that mistake? For example, you might be trying to make the most amount of money possible, and then you heard of an activity that was maybe in a gray area, or maybe sort of illegal, and you participated in it. You made money and you got caught. Now, at the end of the day, you have to realize that your greed played a role in this mistake. Your impatience played a role in this mistake. Firstly, because you weren't willing to work long and hard enough to attain that amount of money. You'd rather take the shortcuts. So it's the same with any other type of mistake. If you cannot find the root cause behind such a mistake, if you cannot identify the emotions that drove you towards that mistake, you are never going to learn to rectify it. So yes, after you've made the mistake, it's been made, there's nothing you can do about it. But what you can do is you can analyze and really try and interpret the emotions and the way of thinking that was behind that very mistake, and work from there. So now that you're fully aware of the fact that you can make a mistake, now that you've made a mistake and you've analyzed it, it's time to own up. It's time to take responsibility for it. And you know what? It's inevitable. Mistakes will come. But at the end of the day, we all make them and we all respond differently to them. We all have different feelings about them. Some of us don't regret our mistakes at all. Some of us feel very guilty about our mistakes. So at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to not only become aware of the fact that you can make a mistake, to not only become aware of the fact that you need to analyze the root cause behind that mistake, but at the end of the day, it also boils down to the fact that you need to be taking responsibility of that mistake. If you can't take responsibility, you're going to keep failing over and over. You're going to keep on repeating the same mistakes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to minimize your mistakes in 2024, the first thing that you should do is subscribe to this channel, number one. Number two, the second thing that you should do is you should be fully aware of the fact that you need to take responsibility for each of the flaws and mistakes that you make, because at the end of the day, no one made those mistakes except you. No one held you at gunpoint and forced you to make those mistakes. You made those mistakes. So become aware, identify the root cause, and take full responsibility. I hope you found this video valuable, and if you did find it valuable, please share it on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok, and also share it with friends and family. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time.